Hey guys, this is Fold Stuffing Incorporated, and I'm here talking about my top 10 most powerful decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. And honestly, this list was so hard to make. So freaking hard to make. Because there were so many choices, so much diversity in this format, no mechanic has fell short. It's just insane how much innovation was put into this game, although the game went faster and faster and faster, allowing the power creep to slowly descend. But it slowly descends as much as that meteor that destroyed the dinosaurs. But aside from True King Dinosaur puns aside, let's get to the list, starting with a few honorable mentions being Shadal's, because, well, he didn't have any weak matchups, didn't have any strong wins either, but they were a good explosive deck with good graveyard recursion. Stellar Knights, because they have a really good control game. And with cards like Card Demise still out there with them, they can still have a pretty good chance in this metagame, but that's not what's factoring them. It's a deck full of full power decks right now. Magicians, because we just got new support for them, but I feel like it doesn't validate them being on the list, considering we haven't seen the splash they made in this metagame, which I assume to be very small, because true Dracos are still a very real threat. And lastly, Paleozoics, because their reign was very short, and it was in a very unexpected time that they've actually topped and won an event. Number 10, Metal Foes. Metal Foes and variants including Yang Zing, including ABCs I may have seen a while ago, pure Metal Foes with Gofu and Kurin. This deck is amazing, but it's not the end-all, be-all deck in any format whatsoever. Metal Foes are a very powerful deck, and you know their playing style. It's just that they didn't have very strong matchups. I mean, get something like ABCs, they have a very weak matchup against them, let's be honest. If they go second, they have a decent chance, but they're not too focused on going first, really. I mean, sometimes you can make good plays with Gofu. You have quite a bit of versatility going for you in the deck. I just feel like that's not quite as strong as other decks. And Metal Foes are actually using an engine for some of these decks. So, yes, those are above Metal Foes for that reason. Number 9, ABCs. One of the decks that includes Metal Foes if you want to put it in there. ABCs are a very powerful deck, as you guys may already know. ABC Dragon Buster is one of the most powerful boss monsters to date, being one of the easiest to summon, having a very powerful effect, and being able to split itself into its 3 original pieces, and it can also banish a card during either player's turn at the cost of a discard. Also, this card has many Xyz plays even after that first turn play, because you can just split your cards back into their pieces, get Union Hanger, get another Union to summon, to equip another Union on it, and make your Xyz plays, get your searches, make another ABC Dragon Buster. This deck has a pretty high ceiling, although it's surprisingly linear, so I feel like that ABCs deserve a spot on this list. Number 8, Cosmo. Its variants included are some of the most powerful decks in its time. Demise Cosmo is one of the most control-licious decks out there. Fire King Cosmo is one of the most combo-licious variants out there. And they had a very good matchup overall since its release. I mean, it's nowhere near like Burning Abyss, where it's lasted the entire era, but Cosmo is a very powerful deck in itself, even in past formats. And honestly, Cosmo and its variants have always been an impact this metagame, especially this one, where targeting is very prevalent, and it's the one deck responsible for making targeting and destroying pretty much obsolete for its time. So, Cosmo is the number 8 spot on this list, but I feel like the other decks are more powerful. Number 7, Monarchs. You guys know how much I just love full power Monarchs, huh? Getting the most powerful draw card in the game to date. Having one of the most BS-esque loss ever graced this game's existence in the domain lock. Having to make tribute summoning relevant again, with cards like Vanity's Fiend, Majesty's Fiend, Erebus to get rid of cards, Aether to swarm your board potentially, Kuros to get rid of your cards and gain advantage. They have so much consistency. The problem is they brick harder than any other deck in existence in my eyes, unless you count Ojama Dark World or something. But other than that, Monarchs can brick, but if you get that opening hand, oh gosh, you will probably win every time if you open that hand. Unless you're in a Monarch mirror match where me and a friend have done a match over. And honestly, I'm never going to do that again. It's a really big mistake. Don't ever do it. Number 6, Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss. This deck has persisted throughout the entire era. It's almost rivaling Mermails on how persistent they are in the metagame. But unlike Mermails, before what's his face, Neptibus, Burning Abyss has always been relevant. It's always had some way to stick around. The Speedroid engine, the Phantom Knight engine, it has every little thing it needs to survive. And that's not even talking about the countless amount of times it had during its relevance, and it's always been relevant in the Arc V era. So I feel like that in itself, this deck is very powerful, and it deserves a spot in this list because of its persistence, and because of its relevance in the metagame overall. It's truly insane how long this deck lasted. Now making number 5 is one of the more recent decks, being True Dracos. True Dracos, they're a surprisingly linear deck, I'm not gonna lie. But they are so stupidly consistent. I mean, a lot of their cards in the archetype, when they're tributed, they destroy a card in the field, depending on which card you tribute. But if you have Masterpiece, the fun-slaying Draco-slaying king, or whatever the heck it's called, that thing is a nightmare! Unless you have a kaiju, you're not getting rid of that thing if you're playing certain decks like Paleozoics, if they tribute a trap. Oh my, it's a nightmare. True Dracos are insane. Cards like Card Demise doesn't hinder them at all. Pot of Duality actually boosts their consistency without hurting them at all. Their spells and traps allow them to draw, get their monsters back, search out whole monsters in their whole archetype in the form of Draconic Diagram, with terraforming on top of that. Dear Lord. And some of their monster effects can search out cards or destroy cards, being Masterpiece and, Dynamite Knuckle. It's insane! It's unbelievable how powerful they are, and they're very relevant in this metagame for a reason. Number 4, Full Power Cliffords. Full Power Cliffords. This deck is just straight up cancer. I am not kidding. This deck is straight up cancer. I mean, with cards like Scout at 3, Skill Drain at 3, which powers up their monsters, options that lose one turn even after they were hit, Vanity's Emptiness at 3, which doesn't hinder their performance at all, and every little thing you need to be the most annoying deck in your time, and even still pretty more recent times of cards like Card Demise, Clifford is a very powerful deck, more so than most of the decks on this list, because of their sheer consistency. Cards like Monolith to get their cards, Scout being the best Pendulum Searcher in the game. It's just insane. Cliffords are just nothing to top at. It's insane. I never seen a deck that abused Skill Drain as well as them, even more so than Dark Worlds. It's that good. So they make it on this list, and they very much so deserve it. Number 3, and it may be a surprise, and the first of the 3 decks I consider to be the most powerful is going to be Necrosis. Necrosis is insane. They're the second most consistent deck to date, in my opinion. Ever. The second most consistent deck to date. This is a ritual deck, yet this deck was the most powerful for its time. The Genlock was bull. The sheer consistency. Cards like Trishula doesn't target. Cards like Valkyries that end the battle phase. Unicorn that lock out the Esther deck effects. Everything about it was insane. I just couldn't believe that they made a deck like this. It's the most consistent deck as a ritual deck. It's everything that deck could ask for. And, oh my gosh, don't even get me started on the Genlock and its mirror matches. Number 2 is going to be Zoo. You guys surprised not seeing Zoo if you guys are still pretty new to this game? But if you're an older player, you should know what the number 1 choice is. But on to Zoo. Zoo is probably the most consistent deck that we have right now. Like, right now, it's the most consistent deck in this metagame. It has so many cards to go with them. They have 1 card exceeds plays. It's just bonkers how much they can do. It's just everything a deck could ask for. And they have their own draw power in the form of Thorough Blade that also allows piercing damage. Whiptail is a DD Warrior Lady without targeting, and an honest at it. It's just, oh my gosh. Zoo has Barrage, Speedroid Terratop, all of those things. 12 cards in the main deck that can access Rapier, which will lead to even more BS Exceeds plays. So I feel like that in itself, Zodiac is the second best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and if you guys know who number 1 is, pat yourselves in the back, you should know that it is indeed Performages and Pals. Performages and Pals, in my opinion, is the most powerful deck ever. It's the most powerful deck that has ever been created by Konami or by any person that has ever played this deck. Its consistency, its plays, the cards it can access in the OCG and TCG, it is the most powerful deck by far. Dragon Rulers, they are a very powerful deck, but they can never hold a candle to the performances in Pals. With cards like Luster Pendulum, the popular cards like Guiding Ariadne that search your counter traps, cards like Plush Fire search your performances without a normal summon, I might add, as is Cyber Dragon Infinity in ways like Ptolemaeus, in ways that get Ptolemaeus back to summon Pleiades. This deck is absolutely insane. They can make Infinity Felgrand Rafflesia like it's nothing. It's an absolutely scary deck to face. In the OCG, it's even worse because they had Shotmaster. So imagine how hard that must have been. But still, the reign of performances in Pals were so stupidly low, only down to a month, showing just showing how powerful this deck is. And if you ever play, if it had to stay, probably even now. I mean, look at Lithium's match between that and Bull Power Zoo. It's insane. Performances in Pals won that match, spoiler alert, and they won it in a very humiliating fashion to Zoo. And if you can call a deck as powerful as Zoo, you can call that humiliated compared to Pepe, you know you have the most powerful deck to date. It's just, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, but I can't stress it enough. Performances of Pals are the most powerful deck ever created. If anyone can debate that with me, then please try. I will prove you wrong any way I can. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, join the fight for Army, and together we will beat the meta. Talk to you guys next time, and hopefully you'll enjoy my next few videos. But for now, enjoy, play Fluffles or something, have Fluffles beat performances in Pals, please, in some way, and I'll talk to you guys next time.